Likely saw the smoke as we were getting video sent to us from as far as Trempealeau this morning. Now, thankfully, there have been no reports of any fatalities or injuries from that fire at the Omaha Track facility on Bainbridge Street. Now, the severity of the fire required several area departments to respond beginning around 1:30 this morning. The facility there chips recycled railroad ties and stores them at that location. Some of those wood chips are then used at the XL power plant that's located there on French Island. Now, nearly 16 hours later, first responders are still working to put out that blaze. News 19's Crystal Flintrop is live on the scene with team coverage. And Crystal, what can you tell us about the situation there right now?
Well, Dustin, the scene is definitely a lot calmer than it was this morning. And even at noon, as you take a look here, we see crews trying to put out the last of the flames. And right now they're digging through debris, really trying to get everything wet so nothing re-sparks. And I do have the Town of Campbell Fire Chief Nate Melby to join me just to talk a little bit more about this. So could you just explain exactly what crews are doing right now?
Yeah, so right now we have a couple of different crews working with excavators, and the excavators are pulling apart the fuel, the railroad ties, and then we're spraying water from the elevated master streams on those areas to try to reduce the heat. Now,
earlier you had mentioned that the wind really was working against you, but in some aspects it was helping you guys out, pushing the smoke away. Explain a little bit more about that and maybe what other things were working against you guys today.
Yeah, so the wind speed was at sometimes as high as 25 miles an hour in gusts, and so it was really driving that wind-driven fire through the fuel that was here. We've been fortunate that that wind is coming from the north and northeast, so it's been blowing away from the populated areas in the town of Campbell, which has been helpful in our firefight.
Now, do you anticipate that this will be out fairly soon, or what do you see happening for the rest of the night?
Yeah, so I believe we're at about 70%, and during the time that we've been here in the last hour, we've seen an increase in our success rate. So I think our tactics are working, and I think that we're accelerating here. Our goal is to try to start clearing units as quickly as we can, but we want to make sure that we've got as much of it out as possible, and then we'll monitor it through the night.
And then I'll ask you one more time, just a lot of community support for you guys out here. A lot of guys working, our volunteers. What do you have to say to everyone out here to support you guys?
Well, I just want to say thank you to everybody for all the support. It takes special people to be volunteer firefighters and firefighters in general. And I think that really shows on days like today, but it takes a really special community to support us. And that's the thank you for doing the job that we do, and we really appreciate that.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining me to talk more about this. Now, Dustin, there have been no injuries, no fatalities with that. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Crystal. Again, you heard from the chief there. The fire is now at about 70% containment, and they will continue to monitor the situation there throughout the night. The community showing up, providing food and water as the crews worked throughout the day.